Hey y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. Slip around in these woods this morning before this front comes in. See if we can find us some meat. And it ought to be moving. I've slipped in here and I can't sit still, y'all. I have to be slipping around to seriously hunt, so it ain't real cold. It's a little cool. I hadn't checked the temperature. It's probably in the upper 40s or something. I'll let you know. I'll check it before I make another clip and see what it is. Ease around out here and look. I looked, it's 43 degrees. So I'm just slipping around right here. Taking my time, easing up these creek banks. There's a creek right here behind me. Should be some deer out here, edge of these thickets. Hopefully we'll see one. Y'all, I just made a shot over there. Old doe, she bucked. I know I hit her, so I gotta get out of here. I was slipping through there and I just seen her. I didn't even try to get her on camera or nothing. I wouldn't take no chances. So anyway, let's get out here and see what we gotta do. See where we hit her, find blood. I know she run a little ways. I don't know how far. Hopefully she didn't run far. Let's go see. There y'all, there she lays. Boys, we got meat this year. Yep. Let's go see where we hit her at. I was trying, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Well, thank you, old girl. And thank you, Jesus. Y'all, we've struggled this year to get meat. I really hadn't hunted a lot. And I missed one with old 30-30, and I've been needing to shoot a deer. And man, everybody gets all excited over a buck, but y'all, to me, it's just meat hunting. It's putting food on the table. I enjoy it. I like to kill a big buck when I can. Everybody does. Anybody that says they don't like it is more than likely lying, but that ain't the reason that I'm in the woods. It's about a sustainable lifestyle and being able to feed yourself and take from the land what you need and give thanks to God above, because He provides this for us, provides the opportunity and the strength and the knowledge to do it. So y'all, I'm excited. It's just an old doe to most people, but that's your first one of the year, really. I killed one little bitty deer early in the year, and it really didn't last long. This old girl here, she'll feed us. So now I got to see what I got to do about getting her out. I'm going to have to drag her a little ways. I did want to say one thing. Old 270 short mag dead on. It didn't miss a beat. Y'all, I didn't bring no tripod or nothing like that with me. I just come down here with nothing but a rifle. But I got this roll of string. I broke me a stick off. So I'm going to try to figure out me a way right here to loop this around her head. Oh boy, I have just got blood all over my jacket. Y'all believe that? Wrap that around here and then make a couple of passes down like a handle here. Go back through my loop. Go back around her old head. we're gonna tie that off probably with a good old half hitch here. Ain't no need in getting fancy with it. Now y'all look at here. I got me a dragging handle. And you want to drag them forward. A lot of times on small deer, I'll cut them back where you hang it up upside down and run a stick through there. But the hair, you drag them backwards. This makes you drag a whole lot easier. So y'all, now the work starts. It didn't take us long to get the deer. It may take us a while to get it out. We got to get it drug up here before we can get the buggy to it. Anyway, I ain't on film me dragging the whole thing because I'll be a huffing and a puffing. I already breathe hard in my video. In a minute, you sure gonna hear me panting. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you, old toboggan done got my old head warm. I guess now that's my good luck toboggan. I keep another rag over my old head done got the sweat y'all dragging old doe. You know them things get heavier the further you drag them. If you weigh it when you first kill it, they ain't that heavy. They probably about 150 pounds. Time you get through dragging it a half a mile, they about 250, I think. Oh, a little cooler there. We got her drugged before we can get the buggy too, I think. Let's go get the buggy, see if we can get it in here. Hey y'all, I gotta get my string right here all rolled back up. I got it off. This is the part, and y'all, I have done, look at him. Dragging that thing, I reckon, dragging over stuff. It may be time to retire this little piece of string. But it has got me out of several binds and it's cheap. I'll probably, well, you know what I could do? We can cut it right there. That's what we'll do, and we may hang on to that, but we just shortened it up a little bit. I'm finna have to get out this coat up in here, and we will put us another loop in the end of it. Oh man. I just like to keep me a length of cordage in my pocket because y'all, it makes a good fish stringer, dragging handle. I mean, there's so much you can do with a piece of string. Get you out of a bind a lot of times. That just goes to show you the reason stuff's in your pocket has a use. It's not there just to look cool. So, I'm fixing to get out of this coat. This is the part to where if you squeamish, you don't like blood and guts, you turn the camera off, okay? I'm fixing to skin this deer. We're probably going to time-lapse this for the sake of time. There is a few things that I do probably different than a lot of people that I'll slow down and show in detail. Like cutting the hindquarters off of the bone while it's hanging, and the way I do the knuckles, because y'all, I don't use a saw. I'll use a hatchet occasionally to get the ribs. I don't know if I'm going to get the ribs. I probably am. I always keep the heart. Obviously, I keep all 4 quarters of the deer, the back straps, the inside loins. I keep the heart, and we keep the hide. Sometimes I keep bones, sometimes not, depends on, but y'all, right now I have more knife handle bones, so I'm probably going to feed all this to the coyotes and stuff. As far as carcass and guts, I'll usually keep the liver. The liver makes a good catfishing bait. And that's about all I keep. Now, there's been times that I have kept the ribs. This time I've got some ribs. and they ain't a lot on the ribs that I want. Now, I will tell you this. I don't know. We may keep them because you can boil them down. When I made the stew this year, I put ribs in there and boiled them off the bone, and they was great in that stew. So we may keep them for that. So probably we'll keep the ribs, but we keep most of the deer, and I shot it in front of the front shoulder. So the neck roast could be damaged. Whatever's shot up, I'll throw away. I try not to shoot through the front shoulder. I know when people are choosing shots, a lot of times I take the first shot I can get. This deer was walking when I shot it, so I didn't shoot it way up in the neck because I didn't want to miss. So I dropped down to right in front of the front shoulder, which the bullet went right where I wanted. This is about a 75-yard shot, give or take. May have been 100 yards. I didn't walk it off. It wasn't no great, long, impossible shot with a rifle with a scope on it. So I try not to damage a lot of meat is my reason for that. I don't shoot them through the heart. I like to eat the heart, so I don't want it damaged. And I got close to it, so I mean, it depends on what that bullet did. I think I'm shooting an Accubon bullet inside in this rifle. But anyway, I'm going to time lapse skinning this, and then we'll slow it back down when we get ready to do the parts that I want to show you how I do. First thing, y'all, I'm going to be using a knife that my buddy Mike Sabella made, one of the viewers. I've showed this in another video. He made this knife. You can tell it's made out of a file. Very good skinning knife, and that's what we're going to use today. Now, obviously, I've got Jonah on my side for backup if I need it. But now, y'all, I will say this. I have skinned and processed a lot of deer from this point right here laying on the ground with a trapper just like this. I'm talking about completely quartered it up and did everything, even cutting the ribs off the bone. I will say it's a lot easier to get the ribs loose with a hatchet or something and lightly tap down the edge of that spine, and you get all of that. So, but anyway, this is what we're going to be skinning with today. Y'all, looks like I shot this deer come out over here low in this front shoulder. Looks like I'd done a lot more damage than I was hoping I did. Nevertheless, we're gonna try to get everything we can. So right here on this bottom, I'm gonna tilt you down a little bit where these joints are. You see where that joint bends, you wanna cut right here. Now you have to kind of find that joint, but you see how that joint pops loose right there? And then from there, I'm gonna cut in behind that knuckle, and then you come right under here in this joint and cut up. And then you put some pressure on it sideways, and you see how that joint pops loose. You de-joint that deer without needing a saw and destroying a lot of, putting shards of bone all in your meat. Alright, I got my cooler over there. Y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get this hide off and out of my way. I want the hide, so most everybody's gonna be throwing this away. I'm not. Then over here, I'm gonna grab this front shoulder. Now this one is shot up. I'm gonna throw it in the sink and wash it and see what I got before I throw it in with my other meat, because it's got a hole through it. I didn't do an ideal thing. So once again, right here on this joint, cut right under it, cut across the top. You cutting right here where it bends. And you cut that right there loose. Go behind this knuckle. I call it a knuckle joint, whatever you want to call it. Cut all the way in. And then you come forward of your cut. You put some pressure, like a twist on it. And you see how that pops loose? Now, y'all, that is a good piece of meat. Put that in a pan and smoke it. Very good. And then we start right here. We cut. I'm afraid I have destroyed my heart. I love the heart. I don't mind this one's going to be any count. So now we got the front shoulder off. And then the simple thing back here of getting these back straps. Y'all, this deer's got a lot of fat on it. Okay, there's a hip bone right here. You want to cut in right under it. And then I come right down my back strap. Just sliding right along that bone, backbone. And then I start at top. Now I'm left-handed, so it makes this sometimes difficult. One side's easier than the other one. And a lot of people say, oh, just grab it and rip it, but I like to do it like this. I don't like to be losing my meat. Fine pieces of meat right there. Okay, y'all, this is right here one of the things that I do that's a little bit unique. I don't cut the bone off in the meat. Now, I have done it in the past. You do it whichever way you want to. It ain't, as long as you get the meat, it ain't nothing wrong. I'm just going to show you the way I do it. And so what I do is I start back here behind this joint where these muscles come up, and you can see this front knuckle is right here. You're going to cut from below it to right up here. And you're going to come around that at an angle. Same thing on the inside. From you cut right up there, and you cutting right around that knee, I guess is what it is. I don't know the anatomy name, scientific name, every one of that stuff. But okay, and then let me let her down just a touch. Okay, now right here, you're going to come in, and there's a hip bone right here that protrudes out. You're just going to cut around it. You're going to come back into your backbone. Now, you can cut all this fat off now if you want to. It's just as easy for me to cut it off over there on the cutting board, but however you want to do it. But you got to get that knife around and go all the way to them bones in there. And then the same thing on the inside. You find your cut back there. Come all the way back around to your other cut right in here. Okay. Now, come back to the inside. And you can see your bone right there. And you can see these muscles separate right here. Come right in between them muscles. And you want to follow that bone. And you want to cut down both sides of that bone. Okay? From your top cut, and then back here to your back cut, and you start cutting that meat loose, see? You're basically whittling around the edge of this bone hanging. See, you from the inside, you just kind of following that. Come back up here. You're just cutting around it. See how that, follow that knuckle right down in there? There's your whole hind quarter right there. I'll do the other side the same way, and you can start down here or up at the knee, whichever one, don't make no difference. You're going to cut this gland off right here if you hadn't got it off with the skin. You don't want that on your meat. But now you can cut it off over on the cutting board, same difference. And y'all, I have done this with a simple pocket knife. It can be done. You just got to separate that meat. Now, if there's some meat left, like right here, and you want to get that, there ain't a lot that I missed. But if you want to get that, it is good stew meat. You can cut it off right there and throw it in your cooler. I hate to waste anything. I'm going to get it if I can. And some of you may be asking, well, why cut it off like that? Well, the meat, once I lay it on my cutting board, it's half processed. I ain't got, not to mention I can do it while it's hanging up. For me, it seems a lot easier that way. As we're going to start into the inside, there is what I call the sweet loin, breakfast loin. It is the tenderloin inside here. You want to get it. So, we fixing to let these guts come out. Now, y'all, this could be a mess right here because I don't know right where that bullet went. It went deeper in than I intended for it to. And she gonna spin around where y'all can't look. And I'm sure somebody's griping about the deer spinning right now. It don't really bother me no whole great lot. Not enough for me to be sweating it anyway. Alright, now this liver is my catfish bait. I want most of it. So, cut it loose. Other part of it over here. Catfish bait. I know don't nobody like catfishing. Don't nobody want to go catfishing. I'm afraid I lost my heart. Oh no, I got it. Look at him. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I got the heart out. That is really all I wanted out of there. All right, we can, we're gonna take this. A lot of tore up stuff right down in there. You see that nasty hole we blowed? So what I do right here is I cut in right below these are my sweet loins. Let's go ahead and get them out before we forget about them. Cut down inside the backbone. I need to cut some of this other junk out of my dent one. Come back now. I'm sure I done got 20 suggestions by now in the video about how to stop it from spinning around, but y'all know good and well I ain't gonna change nothing. I'll do the next in the same way. There ain't nothing but the older generation gonna have a better idea anyway. The young ones, all they know is to take it to the processor. So that is why I'm doing this video. Because it's fixing to get to a place where you're gonna have to do your own deer. I done heard a bunch of processors making announcements that don't bring no more deer. We got all we can take. Well, if they can't take another one and you shoot it, what you gonna do if you don't know what to do with it? Them being full up tells me they don't nobody know how to process a deer no more. Oh, now I just take not no heavy bunch, and what I'm doing is separating them joints basically. I'm gonna cut that and off right. Where that hole is. Now y'all, there is some meat left on here. I'm gonna get these hocks. Now I'm gonna get these two hocks here. There's some good meat there. So what I've got to do now is separate this joint. So let's see here. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna lay my meat part over in there so I don't be rubbing it all up in all the rest of them guts. Should have skinned this a little further up for this purpose earlier. All right, we got that loose. Let's get the other one. All right, y'all. Okay, y'all, here's where I do something a little bit different. A lot of people want to pour ice bags all in your meat. I don't do that. If you'll use these froze bottles, it'll contain the water. It'll keep your meat cold, which it's in the mid 40s out here today. So maybe pushing up towards 50 by now. But this meat is going to be okay. I'll put these two in there, shut the lid, and I'm going to leave this and let it age. It will not sog my meat down and get it all soggy and drain all the color out of it. I hear a lot of people saying, hey, I need to get the gamey taste out of it. Well, that gamey taste is the deer. If you don't like the gamey, you probably need to be hunting cows or something maybe. I don't want to take all that out of my meat. That is the flavor that I'm looking for. So I'm aging it basically like you would hang a deer. But down here in Mississippi, it's never cold enough for a long enough period of time consecutively to age it. It's in the 50s today. It could get up towards 60 before these storms get here. Most likely probably will. We've got storms rolling in late this evening. But in this cooler with these ice, it'll age in there and it won't sog my meat down. It'll be like a dry cold in there. So in Mississippi, that is what we have learned to do, to age it with warm temperatures, because it just, frankly, it don't stay cold here long enough consistently to hang one in a hanging situation, gut it and just leave it hanging. I would love to do that. We can't do it here much. Not very often. Occasionally you can if you hit everything just right. So this is meat in a cooler, y'all. I'm very thankful. I give thanks to the good Lord above for letting me have this deer and being able to harvest it and knowing how to do all this myself. And y'all already know there's probably 200 comments before we get to this point of the video about, oh, you need an air compressor and blow it up, and you need a golf ball and tie it to it, and you can take a winch and... Y'all, if you get the hide off, that's all it is. That's all that's important. The method you use is personal preference. I used the method that I like. I did it the way I want to do it, okay? I'm not looking for a different way to skin the deer. So get the hide off. That's all that's matter. There's no right or wrong way to do that, as long as you get it off. And if you want the hide, you don't cut holes all in the hide. I didn't do that. I left some meat on the hide, and I can get that off with a flesh knife very easy. But I have plenty of meat here. My meat is ready to process. We may do a video on processing some of this meat the way I process it. I have done them in the past. You can go back and look at my older videos a year or two ago. I've processed deer before, but I always do it again because most people new people's not going to go back and watch a lot of older videos. So, just sharing some knowledge and technique. Not saying this is the only way to do it or the best way. I'm just showing you a way to do it because y'all face it, a lot of the young generation ain't being taught this. They don't know how to, when they kill a deer, they go to the deer processor. There's nothing wrong with that. But if the situation arises where you need to handle your own deer, you need to know how to do it, and you need to know a way that works. This is a way. It's not the only way. It may not even be the best way. Like I say, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Thank you for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Y'all have a good one.